Funny, I stopped worrying about blood drinkers at about 9 years old. And according to The Rock, they are optimal till about 10. So weird and 100% true. Satanist Dwayne The Rock Johnson says he eats children multiple times. You know, I've seen some pretty insane people on this platform in the years that I've made these videos, but this one takes it. This one really does. Special thanks to Nyx, Holly Miller, Sarah Bear, Kaori Ann Mori, Karen Duca, Kipachi, L, Howland Requiem, Maxine Lankow, Chase Howard, and Kitty Girl Emily for supporting the channel and supporting my content. Thank you so much, guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are returning once again to r/InsanePeople Facebook, as you probably were able to tell by the title. Now, before we begin, I wanted to discuss something. I mentioned this in the last video as well, and this is going to be the last video that I bring this up in, as it's not something I really like talking about, but I recently quit my job and am looking for new employment, so I'm not going to be getting income from that for a little while. So if you guys would like to support my content, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click the join button on the channel to support me. By no means should you feel like you have to, as it's not going to affect my content. I'm going to keep making videos as normal. Everything is going to remain the same, but YouTube at this point is actually helping me support myself a little bit on the side, so anything helps. So thank you guys if you do want to do that. If not, it is totally okay. Let's get into the video, shall we? Hilton has a commercial that appears to show two gay men taking a sleeping, possibly drugged, young male child into their hotel room, with no one batting an eye. How progressive. The reason no one bats an eye at this is because there's nothing to bat an eye at. Let's spin this for a second, okay? Imagine it's the exact same commercial. However, it's a man and a woman. If a man and a woman is seen in a commercial taking a sleeping child into their hotel room, you're not going to assume that the child is drugged, and you're not going to assume that anything nefarious is going on. You're going to assume that those two people are the parent of that child. Switch one person out for a male, they are the child's adoptive parents. There is still nothing nefarious going on. The child has still not been drugged. They are still that child's parents. It is progressive. It's called adoption. Thank you. Craters in the earth never have meteors lying there among them, because craters aren't caused by meteors. The fountains of the deep that sprang forth water during Noah's flood most likely made them, like a geyser. They would be very different shape. Meteor showers are just like everything else in the sky, lights in the firmament and not solid objects. Genesis 8:2, the fountains of the deep opened, and they've got a bunch of craters didn't come from imaginary space rocks. Meteors are firmament releasing impurities. It's a self-cleaning chiral crystalline firmament releasing impurities towards the earth. It might look something like this. Meteors are all fake pseudoscience, Masonic to support Helios religious rituals. Lookalike meteors, lights in the sky are something else. Now, it's real interesting that they would say that there are no meteors in craters, okay? Because in every case they've shown here, like the one in Western Australia, I actually researched this. The meteor is there, it's just buried. It's not on the surface, it's buried because it hit the earth a long time ago and is quite large. However, we can literally look up, is it Hobart? Is it the Hobart meteor? Yeah, the Hobart meteorite, named after the farm that it landed on. It's a crater, and the meteorite has never been moved because of how large it is, and you can go and visit it. It exists, it's there, it's a meteorite, and it has been around for a very long time, as shown by pictures like this, which are in black and white. So, kind of debunked that one, didn't we? I've probably had 200 gallons of water my whole life, and I'm still here. You keep drinking them governed liquids and wonder why I'm 12 years healthier than you. I don't trust the water. It's the easiest way to spread anything, including war. Plants can make my air and evolve past toxins to keep making air. Can't make water. That's why it's the best target. I'll drink a beer and with water that has been alcoholed cleaned. Ah, yes, you are so smart, which is why you are completely incapable of structuring a single sentence properly. The plants can't produce water thing is an interesting one, but they do rely on water, as does every living thing on the earth. Everything needs water. You know, that's just real basic level biology right there. Anyway, if you are genuinely concerned about unsafe water, there are very normal ways that you can do this. You can boil it, you can use iodine, you can filter it, like you can buy filters for your taps, you can buy filters you put in your fridge. Like there's loads of ways you can filter your water if you're really that concerned about the government putting toxins and things in your water. I don't believe for a second that this guy is 12 years healthier than anybody of the same age, I'll be honest. Mentally, they are clearly very behind.
If you've rushed out for your third booster, knowing that cancer patients, diagnoses, and other real-life saving treatments have been halted, shame on you. Let's hope one day you or a loved one isn't thrown to the side over a disease with a survival rate of over 99% for most.
If you are not getting your boosters or vaccines knowing that cancer research has been halted, shame on you. You are the people that are causing the problem. People getting vaccinated are the people trying to halt the spread and return things back to normal. The reason cancer research has been halted is because every hospital in places like the UK and the US are absolutely filled to the brim with unvaccinated people. Currently, more than 3/4 of people in hospitals are unvaccinated. They are the people that are currently halting research on things like cancer. It's not the people getting vaccinated that are the issue. It's the people actively preventing this virus from ending. It's the people actively spreading this virus, making it worse, and then blaming the people who are trying to prevent it. You can't go, I never wore a mask, I never socially distanced, I never stayed at home, I never got vaccinated, I never took any COVID precautions, but it's the government's fault that COVID is still around. That's not how this works. Acquired immune deficiency disease. A study from Germany suggests whomever got the 2 jabs will suffer from AIDS by the end of 2022. They've moved the goalpost back to the end of 2022 now. It started, it was 6 months, then it was a year, then it was January of 2022, and now it's the end of 22. The goalposts never stop moving. If people are still getting super ill after their jabs, why isn't anyone suing their government? You can't go after the pharmaceutical companies. They were given blanket immunity. Official German government data suggests they're they really think that vaccinated people are gonna get AIDS. Again, I've questioned this before, but what can the government possibly gain from giving people AIDS? What can the government possibly gain from bringing immunities? Because if it's all about vaccines and making sure people stay vaccinated, people with AIDS can't get vaccinated. They have AIDS. That damages their immune system. Any vaccine that can impact the immune system, they can't have. So if they're giving everyone AIDS, then that's a large demographic of people that are suddenly going to have a lot less vaccines. And second of all, if vaccines are going to start killing, what does the government gain from killing people? If the government is going to go out on a mass conspiracy and kill a large portion of its population, why would it kill the people that obey it and keep the people that disobey it? That is the complete opposite of how anything would be achieved. If there's a conspiracy here, the conspiracy is that they're trying to keep the obedient people alive because obedient people are obedient. I'm just saying. One loves America and one loves crack. Now, the thing here is that if you showed anybody a picture of a dude with a fur hat and horns who is shirtless, waving around a flag with a megaphone, who has literally invaded a Capitol building, and then you showed someone, an old person who has been photoed probably mid-conversation, and asked them, which one loves crack? I'm pretty sure most people would say, oh, it's probably the dude that invaded the Capitol building with nothing but a fur hat on. That seems like a pretty easy thing to say to me. Your wife needs to go to Yellow in North Carolina to get treatments to get rid of those vaccines in her body in order for her to stay safe and healthy. No, they don't. That's all I have to say on that. No, they don't. Thank you. Ted dropping facts. We are surrounded by the lowest scum, lying, treasonous scam artists in the history of the world with all their January 6th bullshit. Write this down. It was not an insurrection. It was a legal protest that was turned into a riot by FBI punks Antifa and sorry, wait, I am missing punctuation here. I'm guessing FBI punks, Antifa, and Black Lives Matter devils posing as Trump supporters. Case fucking closed. To dare compare it to 9/11 or Pearl Harbor is a vicious, soulless lie by vicious, soulless liars. Interestingly enough, I've not seen a single left-wing person compare January 6th to 9/11 or Pearl Harbor. However, in the last couple of weeks, I have seen an insanely large amount of right-wing people claim that people are. I've only seen right-wing people make this comparison. No one on the left. So it's really interesting that yet again, it's just another straw man being thrown out. Because no, those things are not comparable. The FBI, Antifa, and Black Lives Matter? What, are they all just in cahoots? Like the FBI and Antifa are working together now? You know, if the FBI is working with Antifa, what does that say about conservatives? If Antifa has teamed up with the FBI to bring down conservatives, what does that say about your current conservatives? Just think on that for a second. Pope Francis says extramarital sex sins aren't that serious. Oh really? What Bible did you read? Bro, really trying to out-Bible the Pope? Yeah, you know, the Pope clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. Who's the Pope? Like, the leader of the Catholic Church? I don't even think he's really Christian. Oh, God. Dude, conservative Christians are something else. They are really something else. And I'm not sure that something else is Christian. I'll say that much. In my view, an asthma inhaler that is sold to the Canadian people for just $27 should not cost the American people $242. Period. A reasonable statement. If one was keeping his health better, he wouldn't need such an inhaler. That's not how asthma works. You don't just like, oh, I eat my vegetables and exercise, therefore I don't have asthma. I went to school with someone with asthma and he was like the sportiest person I knew, okay? That's not how asthma works. It doesn't just go away because you keep looking after your health. It's a condition. I'm gonna be even more reasonable here based on Bernie Sanders' statement here, okay? An inhaler costs $27 to the Canadian people. In the UK, you cannot be charged more than £10 for a prescription, which means an inhaler is £10 in the UK. And in America, it costs you nearly $250. How does that make sense? Make that make sense. The richest country in the world is also paying the most on healthcare in the world. Make that make sense. Betty White dies. The Golden Girls and Mary Tyler Moore show star was 99.
Who cares? She was a liberal who voted for Obama.
How would you like it if someone said about you when you die, who cares? She was a Republican who voted for Trump.
Show some respect.
Oh, the irony. That's a very hypocritical thing to say after you've just said, who cares about someone dying? You should show respect for the dead. Yeah, seriously, she's like, oh, it only matters if it's people that I like. Like, no, okay? The whole point of a country being free is that people can vote for whoever they want. You don't have to agree with their political beliefs to respect that. If everybody is forced to vote Republican or everyone is forced to vote Democrat, that's not a free country, okay? Just saying, I don't agree with conservative views. However, it's not my right to say someone shouldn't vote or shouldn't be conservative if those are the views they have. I'm just going to express that I disagree with them. On this channel, I have not and will not mock people after death, regardless of what their views are. My 13-year-old daughter doesn't know her times tables or the states of Australia, let alone capital cities or what other countries look like on a map.
Thank goodness, I'm not the only one. My 15-year-old is way behind, and I blame myself completely. Huge stress every day. Some things just don't sink in, and I feel like I'm ruining his life, but I found schoolwork I'm about to.
You shouldn't be teaching a child if you can't write a whole paragraph.
My son is almost 13. I've homeschooled him since he was 6. He still does not know the alphabet, months, or even days of the week. He just does not remember.
Right. So it's about homeschooling, and honestly, there was a comment in response to this post that puts this way better than I could ever put this, so I'm just going to read this. It's from McDex. If you ever see this video, McDex, props to you for putting this in so concisely. Anyway, they said, if your teenagers can't read or do basic maths, they're not being homeschooled. they're simply at home. I could not have put it better myself. I guarantee that the people that are homeschooling their kids like this, that are so intent on homeschooling their kids, even though they are drastically failing, are doing so because they believe there is some kind of like, oh, the schools are brainwashing kids to be more liberal or whatever. But like, honestly, if your kid can't even remember the days of the week and they're a teenager, send them to school, please. Good lord.
Just heard Betty White got her booster December 28th, but they'll never admit it.
But where did you hear that? Just heard this, but they'll never admit it. So where did you hear it from? If they're never going to admit it, you haven't heard it from any of their sources, have you? So what? So some random person, either on the internet or that you know, has just told you that Betty White got her booster. So it must be true. But the Betty White's family would never admit that. No. So where did the information come from? Someone made it up. I did not realize, but that was the last post. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. If you want to support me in making more content like this, as I mentioned, it helps so much if you do. Then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click that join button on the channel. By no means should you feel like you have to. As I keep saying, I will keep making content no matter what. I have done for like 2.5 years now. So there we go. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.